What's up, guys? Fucking gonna make a video for you guys. I want to talk about Bitcoin, the crypto market, bottoms, and shorts. Because if we are heading down and this is a top, you can make money when it goes down by shorting. And a lot of people don't have experience in shorting or want to learn shorting. So I am going to make this market review video about shorting in general. And I'm going to share with you guys a few of my um, techniques, philosophies, setups that I like to use when I short. Let's get right into it. When I short, I use Bitfinex. And what you want to do is you want to go make sure you're in margin, make sure your wallet is funded with money. And not all coins can be shorted, mostly the high cap coins. Like if you click on this, you go to margin. Margin is not currently available for leverage. However, if you go to, let's do this one. If you go to Litecoin and you hit margin, you can margin it. See, that thing didn't come up. And the margin is 3.3x. So basically, if you have $1,000, you can leverage $3,300 worth of Litecoin or any coin that is available on margin. Now, first things first, let's get into a Bitcoin analysis. Maybe I'll pull up my fucking thing for this. Yeah, it's crazy. I had these lines drawn and I went to sleep, but I mean, I'm becoming so good with support and resistance lines and catching wicks off them, but I just kind of, I guess, a little hesitant sometimes in these markets because there's a lot of fuckery that goes on. Anyhow, BTC Finex. This was the downward line. Wick, boom, wicked off it, and now we're down. And breaking this downtrend line is very bullish. Okay, I'm gonna talk about how to short this. If I was to short it, this is how I'm gonna short it. First things first. Breaking this line is very fucking bullish. This is the most bullish thing that could happen for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks out of this line and finds support back on it, people will not be going short. People will be going long. However, the way the volume has been, let's pull up the volume for a sec. It hasn't been so good. And another thing is, I showed you in my last video, this angle that we're going up on is too steep. It was 65 degrees. We broke it. We didn't even maintain this line here, 60 degrees, and now we're coming at a 58-degree angle. And if you go back and you measure it, 58 degrees up here. We had 58 degrees here. We couldn't hold it. It's a very bullish angle to hold. In the history, it hasn't really held. Like you've had it here, for example, right, where this angle has held more than 58 degrees. But this was the peak of Bitcoin. This is when, if you go on Google Trends, this was at its most high. Prior to that, even when he went from 8,000 to SegWit, we kind of maintained 58 degrees. From China FUD, we didn't. Here we maintained it, right? But this is the third wave. Is this the third wave? Are we in a mega bull market? Is CNBC sucking Bitcoin's dick nonstop? It's not. There's all these factors that you need new money to come in and drive the interest up like this. This is euphoria angles, I call them. You know what I mean? And right now, you got to accept that this angle, where we're at, 66, I feel like it's going to start to break down more. and we are kind of making a crown top. And how I would short this is plain and simply like this: short it with patience. Short it with patience. This is a 12-hour. I talk about in my other videos ass crack candles, and what you want to do is these two candles, the groove. You want to draw a line there, and that's where you're gonna put my short. 10938. And if you go on the daily doesn't work. 6 hour. Yeah, 6 hour. Look, boom, both times. We had the, the close and the open, and everything beyond this was wick. So this to me, if we break it, if I feel like we might bounce here and reject this, but what I want to do is basically place bids along this line, or to be more exact. Yeah, so you just kind of want to fill this area. Let me just use it with a triangle. You want to. I don't know why this browser has been acting buggy lately. Maybe I need a reset of my computer. Uh, it's not. Yeah, like this zone here, up to here. You want to just kind of layer your bids, and I'm going to show you guys how to layer them. I'm going to leave this. Also, yeah, my shorting target. If we do break this, if we break 8,000, if we break this support level here, um, it will be very bearish. If we break 6, 10, 5 digits, it's going to be interesting because both times when we went up into the 5 digits and we broke down here, it was very manipulative. Like this sell off right here, I don't know if people remember, at around 11,000. And the reason why there was so much selling at 11,000 is because there was fib extensions that back here that matched up with this point. And when we sold down here and everything got brought up, this area here across Neo, across OMG, across ETP, all these Bitfinex pairs that you could short or long, they all had these huge liquidation spikes down to like $1.50, and people got wrecked. People had like $100,000 balances, and they slipped. So the slippage was so bad they were like minus $33,000, and that was a really shady move. And it just supported itself, and a lot of people got scared here, and then the market continued. And around here, I guess, is where everyone chased the price, and then the sell off, and then the move back up, and then up here is when people thought like we're going to 100,000, and there was a lot of buying and a lot of stalling, but I think there was just a lot of distribution going on around here, and I think there might be some distribution going around here too. Personally, I am leaning towards a move up here potentially, and then down to this zone here, and then maybe a little bit sideways. And I'm not expecting a break of this line. If this line breaks, the price gets above $11,000 and stays there, I would probably go long, to be honest. But yeah, I'm basically leaning towards, if we are going bearish, I'm leaning towards some price action that has us going down, going back up, and creating a crown. A crown is basically like, head and shoulders, whatever you want to call it. But it's very common for a top to look like this. And yeah, and then I would expect a drop down to this cloud here. Honestly, I think if it breaks 5 digits, whoever was pushing the price up here is not. I don't know. I don't want to speak like that because some of you guys might just act on it. But my real next line of support is around here, this 8,900 area. 8,900 is where you might want to close your short, unless you're just like kind of playing it that this thing is going to go all the way down. You want to roll the dice. But 8,900, I would close maybe even half my short because I expect the bounce around here, and then we have to see what happens from there. I have said before that I feel like we are in a downtrend, and I hate the word "I feel" with trading, but like basically when I say "I feel," I'm saying what I think based on my analysis. I'm not just one of these guys that says, "Oh, I feel it's gonna go up," and then you ask them why, and they go, "Oh, I don't know, I just feel it." I'm not saying feel in that aspect. It's just for a lack of a better word. I'm just kind of talking about what I think is going to happen, and a lot of it is just like kind of the intuition I feel when I kind of take all the factors into account. Uh, that's basically what I'm talking about. And when you short, there is two things. You can short Bitcoin, or you can short other coins. And the benefit is that when Bitcoin falls, these other coins come down with it. However, some coins are very overextended. One coin in particular is Litecoin. Litecoin, I'm very bullish on Litecoin coming down to this area here. You know, this area, 1,000, 160, 200. I'm really, really bullish on that. And actually, if Litecoin, if Bitcoin goes to, I've made other videos of where I think it could go to, right? But if Bitcoin goes to, fuck, here we go, freezing again, scumbag browser. Sorry guys, I'm gonna try to fix this for next time. I totally slipped my mind here. Let me take this shit, take it on the daily. Okay, so let's take that, and I'm drawing my fib down to about. Where was my fib? Yeah, this is kind of where I had my fib drawn for Litecoin. I'm pretty sure it was this. Yeah. Man, sorry guys. I had this drawn out really good. I forget what chart I used. Actually, you know what? It could have been on my Finex chart. Did I put it on my Finex chart? Go to Bitcoin. Usually when I do these market reviews, I'm just kind of freestyling it and just kind of showing you how I would do my technical analysis if you guys were just like standing over my shoulder. Sometimes I pre-plan it, but this one I just kind of wanted to go off the cusp because I'm looking at shorting opportunities, and I just kind of wanted to show you how I. What the fuck's wrong? Oh, internet's being slow, like I'm in fucking Afghanistan or something. Come on, man. We're gonna load now. Also, a tip for you guys: I listen to a lot of audiobooks on YouTube, and I always put it at 1.5x. So a lot of you guys should think about doing the same when you consume videos. You'll get it done a lot faster, and you can just observe the. Yeah, here. This was my Finex chart. I drew the bottom fib at 33, and it looks good on the daily. It looks we hit the golden cross at that bottom, and this thing could go as low as 72 actually. I was leaning more towards 94, but However, the 88.3 fib, the 88.3 fib is very common for new market cycles. There's a lot of support here. So if Bitcoin hits 5K, I'm predicting this thing to find support around 107 again, maybe a little bit lower, 94 or so. And then if Bitcoin goes even deeper, yeah, it's potentially 88.3. It's around $72. I could see it hitting. You want to plan for these big swings because if you're new to crypto, if you're new to trading, it seems like someone is just spreading FUD when they tell you these numbers. However, when you do spend time in crypto and you do go through a few bear markets or whatnot, you know for a fact how low sometimes it can go, and your biggest regret will be not fucking swinging that because that swing is if you can just do nothing in the markets but just kind of swing tops. I know it's hard to predict the top and predict the bottom. However, we talk about gaps, we talk about overextensions. There's a lot of ways to tell a market has been oversold. I mean, overbought. You know what I mean? And you have to understand how markets move through accumulation and distribution. And you have to kind of step outside of how you trade and really study how big institutions play the market and all the games that go behind there. And there's a lot of books around it. If you guys want to really learn, do the Wyckoff. Let me show that for you. Yeah, go stock charts, type in Wyckoff stock analysis, and really, really, really read this. If you want to, actually, I think this is a small version of it, but definitely study Wyckoff because this will give you, if you want to understand how bears buy and sell, study Wyckoff. I mean, how whales play the market. Study Wyckoff because the market you're going to be observing it completely wrong until you really understand Wyckoff. Wyckoff is a fucking G. Like if there's anything you guys should do today, if you don't know who Wyckoff is this literally Wyckoff method. I think this is the one. Yeah, read this Wyckoff method, a tutorial. Go through this and take notes like you're studying for your exam, because when you learn this, you start to observe this market a lot different. And at the beginning, you'll probably think you're in accumulation when you're really in distribution. It'll take a while to get it, but like I said, trading is a long-term game, and at the beginning, you can pretty much guarantee and expect that you're going to make mistakes. But just study Wyckoff to me. Study Wyckoff. There's nothing that's going to help you more in these markets, in my opinion, than understanding what Wyckoff is talking about and understanding how stocks are bought and sold. It's really fascinating stuff. But so okay, back to my point. When you when you feel like the Bitcoin is going down, you want to find coins that have really been pumped and are overextended, and try to short those because those will give you the most percentage gain because they went up the most, and now and now, like with everything that goes up, it needs to correct and fill out the chart. This will fill itself out more than other coins, in my opinion. Litecoin. Uh, this is a 25% drop to 156. So if you're putting about 3,000, say you're putting 10K on a short, then you are going from here to here. You're making pretty much over 100% of your money. Let's just do that right now. Um, I'm just gonna keep it simple. So say we put 10 Litecoins. So if we have 10 Litecoins would be about $2,000, right? So $2,000. So at 3.3x, we're leveraging about, what is that? $6,600. So we're gonna change this to 33 Litecoin. It's 33 times 10 is, no, 3.3 times 10 is 33. So now we got 33 Litecoins going short. Our entry price is here, and our take profit 150. But there's also a fib here, so the fib is 164. So let's just say 164. Yeah, off your 2000, no, 10, yeah, off your $2,000, you'll make 1,451 profit. And when you're shorting these, you're better off being in USD unless you're just looking to hedge, because if you're holding Litecoin and it drops to 150 and you're shorting it, basically you're going to be the same at the bottom. Unless you're in USD, then you take this money, you take your original investment, and you can buy coins over here. Then you can go long on those coins and pay the bounce if you think there's going to be continuation. However, I'm still pretty much leaning towards a bear market. A short term, I think by March or April, we'll probably bottom out. And just like how we go up really fast, I think we will just go down really fast and correct itself. And we'll be ready to pump. I think summertime is going to be a lot of action. There's going to be a lot of projects. There's a lot of things in the woodworks right now that's already making me feel like crypto is going to have this new wave that's bigger than ever. But I'm happy to watch these things come down and correct these charts, because if we just go up from here, like if we just go up from, let's see how it is. Like if we just go up from here and we just go up to 55K, and there's all this like this these volume gaps or whatever, and the chart hasn't been fully corrected. I don't like it for the long term. You know, the long term shows me we have this really good asset, that's really high, but at the same time could easily drop and lose fucking, you know, 90% of its value. So people want to freak out. Like, don't be a degenerate. Like, let these charts play itself out. You know what I mean? Be patient with your money. Okay. If you're not sure, like, keep 25% in cash and don't be worried to add it here. Don't be worried to add it on confirmation. Like, this is a long term game. In the short run, you might have a little bit more Bitcoin, but we're playing alts, we're playing swings, we're playing margin longs, we're playing. There's all these things that you can do to increase your count by the end of the year. You know, so that's if you're a trader. If you're not a trader, then I don't even know why you're listening to my watching these videos. If you're just hodling to the death, like just hodl. Like you don't need to do much. Go on, enjoy your life. Go work your job. Go work your business or whatever. But for those people that really see the potential in big swings, you gotta be patient and let these things play out. You know, they take time. And I know how it is. Like sitting in cash sometimes is hard because you're watching the price move up and you're thinking, "Fuck! If I had held, I would have had this much now. I would have had that much now." You just kind of got to be patient and trust in the analysis, trust in the big picture to play itself out. And yeah, here I am going sidetracked again. But now, okay, so let's get into how I would set up my shorts for Litecoin. Okay, one thing I always talk about is when you have two trend lines and they intersect, they create four triangles, right? These side triangles, I like to use these side triangles as like a support. So I would put something there, 222. And how I would short this, for example, is I would take out this triangle. You know, I would switch this to say like a 6 hour, and I would place one candle here, ass crack candle. I call them the ass crack candles. So we have 219 to 222. This is where I want to enter my short. I'm going to switch to a 3 hour also. Yeah, okay. So we're going to take 223 and we're going to take 218 as an example. I'm going to go to scaled orders, right? And I'm going to go short. And just to keep it simple, I am going to put, say, 10 Litecoin. Um, and this is distribution. So distribution works that for every from okay, and then I'm gonna put price. Let's put 218. I want to give it a little bit underneath that support, and then I want to put 223 as the top. So 5 spread. So order count, I'm gonna put 10. So what it's gonna do is every 50 cents, it's gonna layer a Litecoin short bid, right? And we're gonna basically cradle this in. Now, if I feel that the chances of it hitting, like for example, if I want to get a good average and then stop myself out, I would distribute it like this, right? So it would mean that as the price goes up, more Litecoin gets hit. So there might be 1.8 Litecoin up here, and then there might be zero point 0.5 Litecoin in front of it. Or you can play it so that the front gets hit, and then the middle is kind of neutral, and then when it gets to the end, you really load it up. So you can play around with this as much as you want, but or you can just leave it flat. So I'm just going to leave it flat. You can even do this mathematically with variances and price variance. This is also good because if you can really, if you really sit down with the calculator and you can cost average in an effective manner, where your entry price, your average entry price, will be so close to the top, so to your stop, so you minimize how much of a loss you take getting stopped. But we're just gonna keep it like this. Margin, you can even do this on the exchange if you want to enter in, but I'm just gonna go margin short, flat, 10 Litecoins, 10 counts, $5 spread, and I'm gonna submit, and there you go. So what happens here is that as we bounce, it'll start activating my short. You know what I mean? So boom, boom, boom. It starts to activate my short. Now, for my stop, I want to find. First of all, I want to keep my eye on Bitcoin as well and see how it acts to that. But as you're seeing here, say I determine that this candle ass crack here at 225. To me, that's going to be where my stop is. I'm going to put it a little bit higher than the stop at 226. So since you're doing margin, you want to go stop loss, and if you're short, you want to do buy. If you're long, you want to do sell. So here we're going to buy. Buy 10 Litecoins. We're going to put it at 226 buy. That means this price here, if it continues up, it activates all these things. And if it doesn't reach it, it comes down, the short is active, And then, however, if this thing goes up and it clips this, the position's gone. And then basically my average price, let's say, is 220. It seems like it. Yeah, 220 is my average price. $5, I lose $50 on my stop. You can be more aggressive with your stops if you want. However, you need to trust your analysis, and if you're too tight with these stops, you catch wicks, and I mean, it's up to you. I'm not going to tell you how to manage your trade, but on a move like this, where I basically feel like if we're topping, we're going to do a reversal, I'll try to be a little bit more flexible. However, yeah, that's basically how I recommend you guys to start your shorts. You can then move this down and protect it, and as you're profiting, you can say for example, say you have 10 short, and it gets down to this area here. You can just, even if you want, you can do market order and just buy 10 whenever you want. You can also do in the order OCO, and the OCO will set a stop and it'll set a take profit at the same time. So that's very important too. And one more thing is, for example, say my stop was 10. If I change this to 20, right? Margin by if I change this to 220, yeah, here. What happens is that when this gets hit, it'll sell these 10 positions, these 10 coins, and it'll also take ten coins to go long. So, for example, I'm not going to move it down because if I move it down, it's going to get activated. But say this price is falling down, falling down, it's falling down, it's falling down, it's falling down. You can take your stop if you feel like this is going to be strong support, which I'm pretty sure it will be. If Bitcoin hits 8,900, I feel like this is going to fall down to this area here. So you can close your short and go long and play the bounce. And this is where it becomes very lucrative because you're swinging it back and forth. You're riding the short down, you're turning it into a long, and then you're riding it back up. And then, if you once it gets to say this area here, where the previous support was, this part's going to be hard to break through. You can close your position and start building a short little by little, little by little, little by little. Another way you can do a short, for example, is what I do sometimes is that if I'm in front of the computer and this thing starts to peak itself out, I will, for example, say I want to short total 100 Litecoin. I will do 5 Litecoin and I will market buy at a time. Like say this drops, I'll be like, okay, I want to buy some here. So I have my hand on it and I'm just kind of adding to it as I feel it's about to get strong or as it's finding support. I don't really recommend that. I recommend you rather do your analysis at first, stick with it, lay out your numbers. But that's just another way to do it. I mean, there's so many ways that you can short. However, keep it simple with those ass crack candles and trust in your analysis because yeah, so that's that. XRP might be a good short if Bitcoin goes down to that 3,000 mark. XRP could easily hit this area here, 30 cents. We never this area, like this is another really good short actually. We didn't test this from the top, so here's another one, man. Here's another one, man. I thought it was gonna get up to here, but if it breaks this support line right now, this is my next line of support: 70 cents, 65 cents, and then it could go really as low as here. That's another good short. What's another one? IOTA might be a really good short because IOTA hasn't done much, and I feel like IOTA was probably being distributed. Was really heavy. Like yeah, last sentence was rush. Fucking should have opened them last night. Let's see this shit. Yeah, this thing has just been trending down. I think this one is really going to bottom out around here. 40 cents, 60 cents, at least a dollar. I'm pretty bullish on a dollar. This range here. This is another one because the fundamentals of these are kind of not looking so good. The market sentiment is really bad on IOTA. They've been caught bullshitting a lot. So if the market does fall, this thing could really hit the shitter. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much the video. I don't want to make it too fucking long. But yeah, if you are looking to go short using what I told you to. Pick those coins that are overextended and slowly. You want to short slowly. Like don't rush into it and get, and last thing you want to do is short at support. What happens with a lot of people is they want to short and they don't have the balls to do it when it's going up, right? So they wait and then they see the thing falling and then they want to short. But then what that happens a lot of times is they end up shorting the bottom. And shorting the bottom is like buying the top. It's no fucking different. So slowly add to your positions, and then when the price falls down, you can take profit or you can let it bounce and then re-add to your position. But you want to, for example, I recommend you guys watching Bitcoin, and when it starts to get close to this downtrend line, go to the coin you want to short and start adding to your position like that. Because this line is basically where I think the market will flip when it breaks this line. So far, it hasn't. This daily candle is very fucking bearish. It's really bearish. This candle. It wicked that cloud perfectly. That's another thing. Like if you're trying to get into a short, let's see what the 12-hour looks like. Yeah, like I would say put your short here, but I don't know if it's going to hit that. It'll probably go down to this 8,700, 8,800 area first before it does that. But you want to kind of, if you do short clouds, oh, I think this is a good example. Yeah, uh, that is kind of a wick, but along these clouds, you can even scale your order into these clouds. So this would be from 10, 7, 7, 8, all the way to yeah, it has to break 11 too. I mean, you could probably, I would I would think that Bitcoin will probably tap out around 1,009 and maybe 1,050, somewhere around here. I would, if you want to short Bitcoin, I would place your bids somewhere in this vicinity. You know, there's a $400 spread. Spread them out here every like $50. Add short, 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 and be patient. Don't just be like, oh look, it's red, and freak out. You gotta really let it play itself out. Uh, but however, like I said, if we are doing a head and shoulders pattern, it's quite possible that we end up down here where we had this previous support bouncing and then coming back up, maybe testing this trend line or this area where I drew the box before falling down. And a lot of times with shorts, it takes a few tries to get it right, but don't let it discourage you. Even if you're new, I would just short with $1, $2. Learn how to short, because there'll be times where, like for example, if you're really shorting this market and we do really go down to those levels you're talking about, you're gonna have so much money, and that cash, you're gonna take it and put it into uh, Bitcoin or EOS or Litecoin or Ethereum, whatever coins that you like. You know what I mean? And those things are gonna make you. Those are just gonna compound the gains on their way back up. It's pretty self-explanatory. Hope I'm not just fucking speaking the basics. And one last thing I want to talk about also is keep your eye on these markets like Dow Jones and S&P 500, because as soon as these things started to drop last night, Bitcoin started to drop too. So, I mean, there's definitely a correlation here, and there's definitely something happening in these fucking financial markets, because uh, there is some bearish signs in terms of TA. And like I said, you see this cloud, like that top. Always these tops, these peaks, draw a line across them, and those can be shorts. You wick a lot of times when you find these clouds and you find the top of the cloud. These clouds are constantly painting, overextensions and resistance and support ahead of time. And they're just a thing of beauty to really learn and play around with. But yeah, keep your eye on this chart too. I would not be surprised if Bitcoin is just going to follow what these other markets do, because for whatever reason, up till now, they have been playing out side by side. All right, guys, sorry I made it a little bit longer than I had to. If you don't are comfortable with the shorts, protect your capital. If we dip below 10,000, it's not so fucking good in my opinion. So far, it's not looking so good. However, you never know what happens in these Bitcoin markets. You think it's going to go down sometimes, and then it just goes up higher. However, have a good day. Hope you guys learn. Hope you guys make a lot of money. Take care.